Alright guys, in this video we're talking about the rumored upcoming PlayStation event, the PlayStation Experience, the game showcase, whatever you want to call it, and we're more specifically going to be focusing on some interesting rumors coming from some, I would say, questionable sources. I don't know that anything we talk about here today in this video will turn out to be true, but we pretty much have nothing to go off of right now, and this is pretty much it. And it's interesting because based off of what I've been hearing, it seems that Sony is playing everything very close to the chest. They are on complete lockdown right now when it comes to rumors and leaks, and they're doing everything in their power to ensure that nothing leaks out or that very little does leak out. And so you will have to take everything we talk about here with a pretty massive grain of salt, but I still find it interesting. And it gives me an excuse to talk about some of the things that I'm hoping we end up seeing or hearing about soon. So before we dive into it, do me a favor, hit that like button to help the video out and show it your support, and hit that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. I would certainly appreciate that. But the first source we're talking about is the individual known on Twitter as Special Nick. This is the co-host and co-founder of the Xbox Era podcast. I find it interesting that apparently this is one of the individuals who has access to some of this information. It's ironic because they're like an Xbox-centric content creator, but this is the same person who talked about the Ghost of Tsushima expansion, the standalone expansion that will be similar to Spider-Man Miles Morales and Uncharted Lost Legacy. Apparently, they had more to say. They're letting us know that Sony plans to debut God of War Ragnarok gameplay at this upcoming PlayStation Experience event, or whatever this event is going to be called. And to me, this isn't really that big of a deal in terms of what's being said here, because I feel like this is something that is a relatively safe bet. If Sony is in fact going to have an event, I think it's very much safe to say that God of War will show up to some capacity. I will say that it would be interesting to get a full gameplay demonstration. I don't know that that's what we will get. Maybe like a 3 to 5 minute gameplay trailer is more likely, not necessarily like a 10 to 15 minute gameplay demo. Sony usually likes to save that type of stuff for dedicated state of plays. So if we do end up seeing God of War Ragnarok at this event, I think for sure it will be some type of gameplay trailer. And I think that it will be the highlight of the show. Although there is one other thing here that Special Nick mentions that definitely gets my mind racing and gets me thinking. I think we all are of the mindset that once we see God of War, that's going to not only steal the show, but that's going to be the highlight of the show. And I think that that's going to be the biggest reveal, honestly, of the year when it comes to any of these gaming companies and these shows that have been done. That's just my opinion. But Special Nick also said something interesting on June 24th. He said, "I'm not sure how much is going to leak from Sony's show. I know there's one big surprise that hasn't yet, and hopefully those who don't like to be spoiled, it stays that way." Now, this is interesting to me because he's implying that there is something outside of God of War Ragnarok that will be considered a big surprise. Not that God of War would be a big surprise, but, you know, kind of insinuating that there's going to be some type of major reveal of something that apparently Sony, if, you know, again, if I'm reading between the lines here, is working very hard to make sure it doesn't leak. He's sitting here saying that he hopes it doesn't leak and the surprise isn't ruined, because apparently it's going to be something big. And, you know, I feel like this could be anything. You know, maybe this is the long rumored Silent Hill. Maybe this is the long rumored Metal Gear Solid remake or HD collection from Blue Point or something along those lines. Maybe it's something completely different, but you know, I just wanted to kind of highlight this because if Special Nick is to be believed, then clearly he knows what this is, and he doesn't want to share it out, which I think is fair, because to be honest, if this is real, if there's going to be some type of big surprise that Sony's been working really hard to kind of hide and keep under wraps, I would prefer not to know about it. I really would just like to be surprised. And that's kind of the, you know, interesting thing about this whole situation, is that even though we have so little to go off of, I kind of do prefer it this way, because once Sony does have their show, the less that leaks out, the less we know about, the better the show and the more surprising the show is actually going to be. So my main reason for mentioning this is because I'm really curious what you guys think of this. If you do believe what Special Nick is saying here, what do you think this big surprise could be that Sony is saving that hasn't leaked out yet. I will be interested to see what you guys have to say about that. But we're going to close out this video talking about another source that I have to tell you guys, I really do not know what to make of this source. I did a little bit of digging, and based off of what I could find, apparently this person has been correct about some stuff in the past, not anything major, but they're claiming to have a source, and I've seen other people, you know, kind of backing them up. So it's not much to go off of, but again, it's pretty much the only thing I could find in regards to when exactly we can expect something from Sony in an event and a date. And so this is from Mr. DZ over on Twitter, and he says, I'm 98.3% certain on this. A PlayStation showcase is happening between July 6th and July 12th. My source wouldn't confirm the exact date, but said we'll hear of this event this Thursday or Friday. This is the same source who apparently he learned about Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PS Plus in March and Horizon Zero Dawn being free in April. So these are some of the things that apparently they talked about ahead of time that they were, you know, correct about. And again, you kind of have to just take it for what it is. It could literally just be somebody making something up, you know, and if it is, I will say it's a pretty good guess, right? Like it sounds like a safe bet. He does go on to elaborate though, and he says also the showcase will be about 80 to 90 minutes long, and it will heavily focus on the back half of 2021 PlayStation's exclusive lineup with a glimpse of the 2022 lineup. Now, this is very interesting to me if it is true, because an 80 to 90 minute show is a pretty massive show. That's about an hour and a half long showcase, and you know, I have a feeling that if this is true, even though he's saying here that the first or the majority of the show will focus on the second half of 2021, and then we'll get a glimpse of 2022, I think it will actually be more than that. I'm suspecting at this showcase, we're going to learn about a lot of games that are shooting for, I'd say, the first half of 2022, but games that could end up coming in the second half of 2022 as well. Like, what I'm trying to say is I think we're going to get more of just a glimpse of a 2022 lineup. That's just my own personal speculation, but there you go. That's literally the only thing I could find when it comes to anybody who may have any type of information about when we can expect an event announcement. Again, take it with a massive grain of salt. You know, hopefully we'll learn something more concrete as the days go on. But in case you can't tell, I'm very much looking forward to this PlayStation event. You know, I'm enjoying Ratchet and Clank right now. I've still been playing some Returnal as well as some other games, and it's kind of reached that point now where Xbox had their E3. You know, E3 is come and gone. It feels like everybody kind of did their thing except Sony. And at this point, PlayStation fans are just patiently waiting to hear what Sony's plans are. Are they going to have an event? What can we expect from this event? How big is it going to be? And I just can't help but think that Sony's been quiet for so long, and we know so little about the second half of this year, and especially 2022. We know virtually nothing about 2022 when it comes to PlayStation. I think the time has come, certainly, for Sony to, you know, give us a clear idea of what to expect and show us some new things to be excited about. So that's pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Things are very quiet right now. It very much feels like the calm before the storm. So make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comments below, what exactly you're expecting, and let me know what you make of these sources, apparently, that are making these claims. Again, leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.